No one took this meeting seriously at first. Putin and Trump were supposed to have a brief, informal conversation. That's what their press secretaries said. But the hours ticked by. 1, 2, 3. And now more than 6 hours had passed, and the doors were still closed. 6 hours is too long for diplomatic protocol. In that time, you can discuss all the current issues, have coffee, and go your separate ways. But they didn't. And the strangest thing is that no one came out to the journalists after the meeting. No joint statement, no press conference, not even the usual duty words for the cameras. Just silence. And in world politics, silence almost always speaks louder than words. It means one thing: something too dangerous to be announced immediately was said inside. The first theory, which the media picked up on, was simple. The conversation was about Ukraine. But if you listen to the back channel leaks, it seems that Ukraine might have been just a cover. There is another word that is heard more and more often in expert circles: Alaska. Yes, the very Alaska that Russia once sold to the United States for $7 million in gold. Since then, this story has been surrounded by myths and debates. Some consider the deal to be foolish, while others see it as inevitable. But in Moscow, the topic of return periodically pops up in conversations among politicians. And now, according to rumors, something unthinkable was discussed behind closed doors: Alaska in exchange for peace in Ukraine. Russia gets a symbolic historical victory. The US gets to relieve itself of the most difficult Ukrainian issue and focus on its main rival, China. You say, nonsense. Maybe, but it is precisely such crazy ideas that sometimes become reality. Imagine a negotiation room. A large table, two leaders facing each other. Between them, only interpreters. Outside the door, security that can't hear a word. Do you want peace? You can have it, a quiet voice says. But you always have to pay for peace, another replies. These words are not recorded in the protocol, but these are the phrases that those closest to the room supposedly heard. And the fact that the faces of both leaders were tense after the meeting only fueled the speculation. And now, the coincidences. After the talks, for the first time in a long time, Trump smiled mysteriously but refused to make any comments. Putin did not look tired, but rather thoughtful, as if a decision had already been made. And literally a day later, the Kremlin and Washington simultaneously increased security measures around their leaders. Coincidence? Maybe, but too many coincidences at once always make you think. And here's the main question: what does this mean for us? If the rumors are even half true, we may be on the verge of a deal that will turn all of world politics upside down. Russia gets back a lost land and rewrites history. The US gets to close the Ukrainian front and focus on China. Europe, on the other hand, is left on the sidelines and loses control over the future. But there is one detail that analysts miss: people. No one asks us, ordinary people. We will wake up one day in a new world where lines on the map are drawn without our participation. And here's my opinion: 6 hours behind a closed door is not a conversation about the weather. It's a bargain about the future. And if no one is saying what was discussed, it means the price is too high to announce immediately.